Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with chapter 7 of Moments The Last Leaf. It is a story by O. Henry. The author, O. Henry, was born under the name William Sidney Porter in Greensboro, North Carolina in 1862. He was an American short story writer who has a rich canon and his short stories are well known throughout the world and they are well noted for their wit, clever wordplay, and unexpected twist ending. This story, The Last Leaf, explores the theme of friendship, self sacrifice, commitment, friendship, hope, and dedication. It is a sentimental story about a girl named Johnsy who fell ill and refused to recover just because of will. She lost her will to live because she began identifying herself with an ivy creeper outside her window. The author, very interestingly, puts the idea that one can win the hour of crisis with one's willpower. Johnsy could not recover because she had lost her willpower, but once she gains it, she recovers fast enough to be quite healthy soon. The author also very cleverly presents the power of art through the description of an artist called Behrman. So let us start the story. Sue and Johnsy, two young artists, shared a small flat. The flat was on the third story of an old house. Two friends, Sue and Johnsy, they were young artists and they live in a same flat and this flat was on the third story of an old house. Johnsy fell very seriously in November. She had pneumonia. She would lie in her bed without moving, just gazing out of the window. Sue, her friend, became very worried. She sent for the doctor. Although he came every day, there was no change in Johnsy's condition. So, one of the friends, Johnsy, she fell seriously in November and she was suffering from pneumonia and she was so ill that she could not even move she could not move out of her bed. She just keep gazing out means looking out of the window. Her friend Sue, she was very worried about it and she called the doctor, and although the doctor came every day, but there was no change in Johnsy's condition, there was no improvement in Johnsy's condition. One day, the doctor took Sue aside and asked her, "Is anything worrying Johnsy?" So the doctor was also very surprised that why she was not recovering. And one day he asked Sue that is she worried about anything? No, replied Sue. But why do you ask? Sue was also very surprised that why the doctor asked this question. The doctor said, Johnsy, it seems, has made up her mind that she is not going to get well, and if she does not want to live, medicines will not help. Then the doctor told her that it seems that Johnsy has lost her willpower to recover, lost her willpower to live. That is why the medicines are not working on her. Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. She talked about clothes and fashions, but Johnsy did not respond. Johnsy continued to lie still on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board into Johnsy's room and started painting. To take Johnsy's mind off her illness, she whistled while working. Now Sue was her best friend and she tried her best to take her interest in things around her. So she started talking about clothes, fashion, and all other things that Johnsy liked, but Johnsy did not respond. She continued to lie on the bed. Then Sue brought her drawing board in the Johnsy's room and she started painting there. And while doing painting, she was just relaxed. She was whistling just to divert her mind of the illness. Suddenly, Sue heard Johnsy whisper something. She quickly rushed to the bed and heard Johnsy counting backwards. She was looking out of the window and was saying 12, After some time, she whispered 11, then 10, then 9, 8, 7. Sue anxiously looked out of the window and saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick wall opposite their window. And in the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaf. So while she was doing her work, Sue was doing her work, she suddenly heard that Johnsy was whispering something. She was saying something in a very soft voice, in a very low voice. She thought that she wanted to say something, so she quickly rushed to her bed and she saw that Johnsy was doing reverse counting. She was saying 12, then 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, and all that. Then Sue anxiously looked out of the window that what she was counting, what she was saying. She saw that there was an old ivy creeper that was just in front of their window on the brick wall opposite to their room. In the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaf because it was autumn season and a strong wind was blowing, so the creeper was shedding its leaf. What is it, dear? Sue asked. 6, whispered Johnsy. They were falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves, and there are only 5 left now. Then Sue asked him, what are you doing? Then she said, these leaves, they are falling very faster, and 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves, and now only the 5 leaves are left. It is autumn, said Sue, and the leaves will fall. Sue took it lightly and she said, it is autumn season and the leaves will automatically fall. And when the last leaf falls, I will die, said Johnsy with finality. I have known this for the last 3 days. Now she has made up her mind that she will die. Her life is associated with these leaves only, and she will die when the last leaf falls. And she says that I am noticing this thing from the last 3 days. Oh, that's a nonsense, replied Sue. What have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? The doctor is confident that you will get better. Now Sue replied, she scolded her that it is nonsense, don't think like this. These are the old ivy leaves and they are nothing to do with your getting well, and doctor is quite confident and he said that you will be better soon. Johnsy didn't say anything. Sue went and brought her a bowl of soup. Now Johnsy, she kept quiet, and Sue brought her a bowl of soup so that she can have something to drink. I don't want any soup, said Johnsy. I'm not hungry. Now there are only 4 leaves left. I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I'll sleep forever. Now she refused to take anything. She said, I don't want any soup. I'm not feeling hungry. And now only the 4 leaves are left. And I want to see the last leaf to fall before it gets dark so that I will also sleep for. Sue sat on Johnsy's bed, kissed her and said, you are not going to die. I cannot draw the curtain for I need the light. I want to finish the painting and get some money for us, she said. And she kissed her, she encouraged her, and she said that you are not going to die, and I cannot even draw the curtain because it will be dark, and I need some light because I want to finish this painting so that I can earn some money. Please, dear friend, she begged Johnsy, promise not to look out of the window while I paint. And she requested him that you should promise me that you will not look out of the window while I am painting because I have to finish this painting and I need light also. All right, said Johnsy. Finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. I am tired of waiting, I have to die, so let me go away peacefully like one of those poor tired leaves. She said, okay. Finish your painting soon so that I can see the last leaf fall. And she said, I am tired of waiting, I have to die, I want to die now, and let me go peacefully like these poor tired leaves that are falling in the autumn season. Try to sleep, said Sue. I have to paint an old miner I will call Behrman up to be my model. Now she requested her to try to sleep, and she said, I have to paint an old miner, and for that I want Behrman, who was their neighbor, who was residing in the same building. He was also a painter. She wanted her to be her model, so she went to call her. She rushed down. Behrman lived on the ground floor. She went there. He was a 60-year-old painter. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had remained a dream. Sue poured out her worries to Behrman. She told him how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. Now, Behrman, as I told you, he was their neighbor and he was 60-year-old painter, and his dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had remained a dream. He could not paint a masterpiece. Sue poured out her worries. Poured out worries means told her worries about Johnsy to Behrman, and she told him that how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. She said that she was uh, very much worried as her friend Johnsy was very sick. Is she stupid? Asked Behrman. How can she be so foolish? Now Behrman scolded him that she is a stupid girl. How can she be so foolish? She cannot die like that. She is running a high temperature, complained Sue. She refuses to eat or drink. That worries me a lot. She said she was having a very high temperature, and moreover, she is not eating anything, she is not drinking anything, and that worries me a lot. I will come with you and see Johnsy, Behrman said. He said, I will come with you and I will see her. They tiptoed into the room. Johnsy was sleeping. Sue drew the curtains together and they went to the next room. She peeped out through the window and there was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and the icy cold wind was blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now, and Behrman did not say a word. He went back to his room. Now they tiptoed to the room, means they went to the room and they saw Johnsy was sleeping. So Sue doesn't want to disturb her, so she drew the curtains together and they went to the next room so that they may not disturb Johnsy. She peeped out through the window. She looked out of the window and now there was only one leaf on the creeper, only one leaf on the ivy creeper. And it was raining very heavily and icy cold wind was blowing. Very cold wind was blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now. Because of the wind, because of the icy cold wind, and because of the heavy rain, it seemed that the leaf would fall any minute. Behrman didn't say a word and he went back to his room. He didn't say a word, he went back to his room. And Johnsy woke up next morning. In a feeble voice, she asked Sue to draw the curtains. Sue was nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. Now, Johnsy, she had a nice sleep that night, and she got up in the morning, and in a very feeble voice, in a very weak voice, she asked Sue to draw the curtain because she wanted to see that leaf. Sue was very nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. Reluctantly means unwillingly, because she doesn't want her to see that the leaf had fallen. So very reluctantly she had drawn the curtains. Thank you.